Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Stock Chats. Happy Monday. Remember, this is not investment advice. If you need investment advice, speak to your reputable licensed financial advisor. So today, we're going to be speaking about the risk that you can take when you invest in a sector. And we're going to look at an example of what the pandemic has done to some Jamaican companies. Now, you would have known that Jamaica, one of the biggest revenue makers in Jamaica is tourism. And so many investors would have thought that, hey, if before the pandemic, if you invested in tourism-based companies, this would be a good idea. But we must also know that tourism is a very fickle industry that can change at any time. And with this pandemic and the closing down of airports and the closing down of countries, some companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, especially on the junior market, have been affected severely by the lockdown. So we can look at some of the examples. There's one called ECL, Express Catering Limited. Express Catering Limited, if you have passed through the Donald Sangsters International Airport and you have purchased meals in any of the various fast food restaurants in there, Express Catering Limited is the one that controls the license for those restaurants. The franchise is for those restaurants. So you can imagine, with no persons coming through the airport, so what that has done to their bottom line or their profit. Also another one which you also know is Dolphin Cove. Dolphin Cove looks at marine park that has dolphins, stingrays, I believe sharks, and other animals and other amusements. They, in their last quarterly report, mentioned that for 3 months between March to June, they had no revenue at all. But however, they have a high cash flow, so they're able to continue. But these are some of the areas, that are affected by the pandemic the most. Those companies that deal with tourism. So when you invest, you have to always be careful about the risk of the sectors that you invest in. Always think about what can happen. You cannot think for today because we live in a risk society, and it's important to think about, what are the effects. So if you're into pharmaceuticals, see where the medicines are coming from. If they're coming from overseas, there may be issues in regards to the supply line. If there's chemical companies, you have to be careful. It may be because of the volatility of the chemicals, they can damage the plant. And if they damage the plant, then you know that there is going to be a lot of expenses plus a loss of revenue. So risk assessment is always important when you invest in a company. So have a good day. Enjoy the rest of the week. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to list them down below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much, my supporters, for your support.